Claiming to speak another language for years, and then having that ability tested one day, and claiming someone else is the asshole. Now isn't that a spicy hot topic issue? G'day there guys, it's your main man Markee, and welcome back to another episode of r/AmIThe Asshole. Now if you love today's bloody good content, I want you to sit back, relax, chuck a prawn of the Barbie, and get ready for this very interesting story. Let's go. Am I the asshole for talking to a girl in Swedish who claimed that she spoke it? I'm Swedish and have lived in the US for about 5 years. I met my girlfriend 3 years ago and we hit it off immediately. Last week we celebrated her birthday and she had, like usual, invited friends to the party. One of them we can call Linda. The evening was going well. We had talks, games, and fun. My girlfriend and Linda spoke about some new acquaintance from Germany or something, and Linda reached out and said that she had Swedish heritage and was really proud because she spoke the language fluently because her mormor, grandma in Swedish, mum's side, taught her. Well, you can imagine I was thrilled, since the only times I get to speak Swedish now is on the phone and online and chat with friends. So I proclaimed a whole bunch of Swedish stuff that I can't read, which translates to, cool, then we can talk a bit of Swedish if you want. It's been a long time since I could speak Swedish with somebody in real life. She looked at me, and you could immediately tell her expression from, oh crap. She tried to get back on track and said, sorry, you caught me off guard. I didn't know you were Swedish. Could you repeat that? So I said, Swedish stuff, which means yeah, I thought you could talk a little Swedish. She then said, Jag Linda namar hördur, which made it obvious she knew a few words, but definitely not on a conversational level. She said, Jag Linda namar hördur, which, while understandable, is not correct Swedish. The correct sentence would be,
Jag heter Linda. Hur mår du?
For, my name is Linda, how are you? The rest of the night was tense, to say the least. She kept looking at me like I'd ruined her plan and made her the villain. I don't even care if she could speak it or not. I just wanted to talk to someone. The evening went by and they all left. The next day, after my girlfriend had a talk with her, she explained that Linda was really mad at me for, quote-unquote, embarrassing her in front of everybody. I told my girlfriend that I did in no way do that, since all I did was ask her if she wanted to talk to me, and then I repeated myself since I thought she didn't hear me the first time. I thought she just hadn't activated her ear for other languages, which happens to me all the time. I get just as surprised and miss out on what was said if someone suddenly speaks in another language that I understand. Now I'm the bad guy, apparently. What do you think? Am I the asshole? What is going on with these people that embarrass themselves and then immediately they just gaslight and they're like, oh, it was definitely you that was the issue here? It's definitely not me that needs to swallow my pride and just admit that I don't know Swedish. No. You talking Swedish in a conversational way? You're an asshole. You're what's wrong with this world. You're the one with the issue, not me. And yeah, I get it. It's not actual gaslighting. Like, real gaslighting is manipulating someone by psychological means into doubting their own sanity. Maybe that's projecting then. They're projecting their insecurities and their failure onto the rest of the world. So yeah, OP is not the one with the problem here. This other person is that's being a fake Swede, not the asshole OP. Now in the comments, Kurtek Jim says, not the asshole. She should have realized that there was a non-zero chance of this happening someday and quietly retired the lie. Yeah, this is so silly. We see it so frequently on this sub. People claiming to speak another language and then getting mad when they get caught out. It makes no sense. My grandparents were German. I can speak a few loaned sentences to get by with the great aunts and uncles who speak very little English, and I can generally understand what's being said if a conversation is happening around me. But I would never claim to speak German. That would be ridiculous, and I'm sure I'd just end up humiliating myself. I'm in the same boat. I usually say I speak enough German to get myself into trouble, but not out of it. Carries the message well enough. Not the asshole, Linda is a liar. And an idiot. Her friend has been dating OP for 3 years. Did she not realize that one day this would bite her in the ass? She said she didn't know he was Swedish. Maybe not such a good friend. I have a Dutch son-in-law. He's been in the country 12 years, is very fluent in English, but obviously not an American. Kind of hard to hide. Unexposed is by user JennyCat112. Titled, Am I the asshole for asking my boyfriend to cancel dinner with his son and daughter-in-law because I was specifically not invited? I had made plans to hang out with my boyfriend after work today and spend the night. We live an hour apart, with my work in the middle. Then he tells me that he was invited to dinner with his son, his daughter-in-law, daughter-in-law's mother, and my boyfriend's ex-wife, who I get along with just fine. We spent Christmas together, so it's no big deal. My boyfriend's daughter-in-law says she does not want me to come because it would be awkward for her. I should mention that there's a big age gap between my boyfriend and me, and I think daughter-in-law, and possibly his son too, do not like the age difference. This isn't the first time I've been specifically not invited, and it really hurts my feelings. I asked my boyfriend not to go, but he replied that he'd already said yes. So I told him if he goes to the dinner, I'm not coming over tonight. Even though he'd only be gone an hour or two, my feelings are too hurt to wait around by myself for him to get back. Am I the asshole? Because I sure feel like it, making my boyfriend choose like that. For clarification, my boyfriend and I made plans together. He asks me to come down every chance I get, and always asks me to come down even when he knows that I can't. We've been together for over 2 years, and it is a serious relationship. The only reason we don't live together is because I have cats, and his dog doesn't get along with cats. I'm 12 years older than his son, I'm 40, and boyfriend is 55. The son lives in the same town and he sees him several times a week. I've never included anyone in his family, including his ex-wife. We actually have invited her over for dinner several times as my boyfriend's daughter and granddaughter live there as well, and I'm an adult and not jealous of her. The daughter-in-law is known for being rude to everyone. Honestly, I don't see what's wrong with you being 40 and him being 55. Sure, it's a bit of an age gap and you're 12 years older than his son, but that's not weird to me. I feel like that's kind of normal here. Maybe if he was 33 and you were 18, there would be a difference there. Maybe if he was 40 and you were 25, bit of a difference. That would be a bit weird, but you've kind of smoothed your life out by 40 and him being 55. Like, no one really cares at that age anymore. At least I'd hope not. Like, I can't talk with authority on that. But yet this family still thinks it's a big enough deal to not include you in any of these family dinners, especially this one. And he always tells you to come down an hour's drive every chance, even when he knows that you can't. You don't mention him coming to see you and making that drive himself, nor do you mention him making any attempts to come see you all the time. It's always him asking you to come over to his. It seems like you're the one putting all the effort into this relationship, in all honesty. I'm not going to go to the default Reddit thing and be like, break up with him, because that's just stupid. There's a lot of circumstances where it's better to talk things out. But really, this is something to talk about with your partner, because he's old enough to know that he needs to be doing his fair share in this relationship, and from what you're saying here, it seems like there's a huge imbalance. So I'm going to go not the asshole. I feel like your reasons are valid. Now in the comments, Clogs and Frog says, I'm torn, but surprised people are ignoring the fact that you guys already had plans, and he totally just crapped on them. So because his son and daughter-in-law decided on last-minute plans that specifically exclude you, you have to spend the night alone when you were supposed to be with your boyfriend, and you're supposed to just be super cool and happy with that? My point exactly. He either hid his previous dinner plans in the hopes that he gets dinner and a happy ending, or he's blown her off last minute for a last-minute family dinner. I was so much more diplomatic in my post above. I bet son and daughter-in-law are announcing that they are expecting. I think you may be right about pregnancy. Not the asshole. I think people are overlooking that your boyfriend is cancelling plans with you to go to this dinner, which is rude. I don't think it's productive or wise for you to tell him not to go, but you can certainly tell him you won't be waiting around for him afterwards. I think you might want to reevaluate the relationship, because he obviously has no problem cancelling plans with you at the last minute. Agreed. If someone cancels plans on me, I'm not driving an hour to sit around all night. I think she could have phrased her position like I did instead of the weird ultimatum she made. Also, she's 40 and he's 55. I'm normally super judgmental about age gaps, but that isn't an age gap that bothers me at all. His son is 28. I don't get why anyone is awkward. 40 and 25 is pretty bad, but 55 and 40? That's not a big deal at all. Once you're over mid-30s, there's really not an upper limit unless he's like 80 or something. Our next post is by user Throwaway Am I the Asshole W Bride, titled, Am I the asshole for refusing to give up my dream wedding dress, though it means my fiance's family will not attend? I'm in a lot of turmoil right now, and it feels like everything is falling apart. I have never had a great relationship with my future mother-in-law. It isn't terrible, but I can sense that she doesn't like me. My fiancé is very close to his family, so there's been some tension. I didn't invite mother-in-law wedding dress shopping because our relationship is awkward, but I thought I'd show her a picture to make her feel included. My dress is a beautiful, flowy beach dress, but not technically a wedding dress and could be ordered in color. I bought it from a small local boutique that we both love. Mother-in-law said that I can't wear the dress because she bought the same one for her 50th birthday, which is 2 weeks after my wedding. Mother-in-law does have the dress, though in a mint green color. There's enough detailing that it is still clearly the same dress, and she has the receipt to prove that she got it first. Lavish birthday parties are a thing in our circle, so I know she has invested serious time and money in this party. I said that I'm still going to wear the dress, despite the fact I could easily return it with no loss, because I didn't do this out of malice, and I love it. Mother-in-law said that if she wears it 2 weeks after I do, everyone's going to think that she's pathetic and copying her son's wife. I said sorry, but not really my problem. Everyone has gone crazy since I said that. His entire side of the family and all the friends that the mother-in-law invited have all backed out of the wedding. So like 15 people, and it will be noticeable. His sisters were supposed to be in the wedding party on his side, but dropped out and have blocked him on everything. His stepdad won't talk to him and says he regrets raising him and he isn't a real man because a real man would stand up for his mom. His bio dad is even on mother-in-law's side, which doesn't surprise me because they're good friends. But he called us up to shame us the other night. My fiancé is hurting and found out his family had a big beach day and invited everyone but him. He called mother-in-law and they talked, but didn't come to a resolution. She said if I refuse to do the right thing, the only answer is no one going to her party can go to the wedding. He tried calling sister-in-law and found out she blocked him. He's mad at me now and feels like she had it first. Edit for some info, mother-in-law has never acted like this before, truly, ever. She's extremely laid back, doesn't show emotion, not really attention-seeking, which is why my fiancé is so confused. At this point, I think the relationship with his sisters and stepdad is beyond repair for now, and I'm scared to have them at the wedding. To all the people saying I should wear it to her birthday, Lamau? But I'm banned, and her ex has already promised to act as a bouncer, not that I'd ever crash it. Now in the comments, Raymond Beaumont says, you can wear whatever you want, but at some point, you might need to think if this dress is more important than your wedding, because it seems like that might not happen at this point. And edits, everyone acts like this is just normal behavior for mother-in-law and is a slippery slope. If you don't wear the same dress as her, you will always be under their control. While OP has repeatedly stated that there have been no issues, and this seems all to be about this exact situation. If mother-in-law had written the post, would people be, if she wears the dress, she will always start wearing the same clothes as you own? Of course not, because that's ridiculous. Things can happen. That doesn't mean that they will continue to happen under different circumstances. Some people writing comments here are more dramatic than mother-in-law and her family. I agree with this, but mother-in-law and her family are ridiculously overreacting. That goes without saying, but my guess is that OP's significant other isn't willing to cut out his family because of a dress. You're looking at it the wrong way. His family is ready to cut him off over a dress, not the other way around. Frankly, if I was OP, I'd consider running far away from these psychos. If they're going feral over a dress, imagine what they do over more important life decisions, i.e. future kid's name, purchase of a house, etc. Emphasis on over a dress. If this is their knee-jerk reaction to something as trivial as competing dresses, I fear OP has a rough life ahead of her in this marriage. Exactly. The sister blocked him. That's not a rational, we're open to discussion/compromise type of move. Everyone sucks here. All of you sound difficult. Except possibly your significant other, who is caught between a bunch of self-righteous entitled people who don't care about the damage they do. The mother-in-law is difficult, but so is OP. You could have been the bigger person and got another dress. You said it yourself that you can still return it, and no big loss. It seems like OP chose to make it more difficult and is a bit of a bridezilla. You should help your fiancé out and not wear the dress. Get a different one. Because you're ruining his relationship with his family, and yeah, they are being asshole-ish, but he loves them, and you're driving the wedge. I can't see a good marriage from a start like this, especially since he's mad at you now. Quote, you could have been the bigger person and got another dress. God, would everyone effing stop with this be the bigger person bullcrap? Why the hell does OP need to be the bigger person over her wedding dress? She's not the one acting like a lunatic, and her being the bigger person will do nothing but encourage her in-laws to continue being awful. I know, right? I don't understand how people think OP is being entitled here. It's the in-laws who are sacrificing the relationship over a dress. OP is sacrificing the relationship over finding out they're insane and manipulative and weird. Those are very, very different, and it's a bit concerning that OP's significant other is mad at her over this. I feel like we're missing some crucial information here. It'd be one thing if it was just a crazy mother-in-law, but the whole side of the family blocking the husband and boycotting the wedding over a dress? Something is not adding up. Matriarchs are real, and they rule the families. Sure, it seems super weird and petty for all of this, but I agree the mother-in-law either threatened or guilt-tripped her whole side of the family into doing what she wants, because in some cultures, it's just like that. Everyone sucks here. To be honest, you kind of walked into this one by purchasing a non-wedding dress from a local boutique that the two of you both like. There was always going to be a distinct possibility of something like this happening because of that. Maybe you can suggest going dress shopping with your future mother-in-law to find her a new dress for her birthday? 50th birthdays are kind of a big deal. Not like a wedding, but still a significant milestone. So I understand that she wants to look nice for it, and there's probably a good chance that a large number of the guests at the birthday will have also attended your wedding, and she's not totally out of line for thinking people might say that she copied you. But again, you're the one buying your wedding dress from a local non-bridal boutique, so you are running the risk of buying something that other people would want to wear to non-wedding events. I honestly think the main issue your mother-in-law has is the fact that you didn't invite her to dress shopping, and also are brushing her off, rudely, by saying not my problem, not the fact that she has the same dress as you. And OP replies, I actually did suggest that and offered to pay for it. She played fake confused and said why would she need a different dress since she's never going to see me in mine. I'm done talking to her because she asked me to please not contact her anymore. Her kids blocked me on everything, and her husband banned me from the house. Did she play fake confused? Or was she actually confused as she thought the matter was settled? And OP replies, she seemed to be putting on a show because her husband thought it was funny. These people are abusive troublemakers. OP, your spouse is not backing you up and is angry with you. If you do marry him, he will most likely side with them in the future. Why do you want to marry into this situation? Yes, absolutely this. Never marry a man that sides with others over you. Pure disaster. People can think independently. I will not back my wife on everything she does and says, and she won't do it for me either. We are both adults capable of making our own decisions. To blindly follow someone because they're your spouse is just foolish. And our next post is by user WesternEar145, titled, Am I the asshole for telling my dad that if he wanted a son, he should just have one with his wife? My parents are divorced. My younger sister is trans and she is 17. My mum is very supportive. She has transitioned socially and is on hormone blockers. It is insane how much happier she is now, but dad is not at all supportive. He used the old name and calls her his son. He hates it when she wears feminine clothes. It is pretty upsetting. She loves him, he's her favorite person, and she's been trying to win him over. It's hard to watch, honestly. I have been losing all respect I have for him. He can see how much she's hurting and just keeps piling on. I really can't take it anymore. He doesn't care about her at all. She was again trying to convince him, and he said that she was his son and that he'd always wanted a son. It just pissed me off. She was close to crying, and I ended up yelling that he should just have one with his wife if he wanted one so badly. It landed really badly. Dad was upset, stepmom was there, and she looked really hurt too. We ended up leaving shortly after. Here is where I am the asshole. They had been trying to have a child, but they couldn't. It was such a cruel thing for me to say. I'm such an asshole for even thinking about such a thing. It was just mean to hurt them. I really regret it. My mum agrees and she thinks I shouldn't have been cruel and should have found another way to stick up for her. Now in the comments, Atticus French Toast says, "Not the asshole, because it was a momentary lapse while you were being provoked, and you understand you shouldn't have said it. You were desperate to make your dad stop torturing your sister, and reasoning with him wasn't working. So something horrible came out of your mouth, one time. In contrast, your dad has continually and repeatedly decided to make your sister, his own child, miserable over a long period of time. He's the asshole, and honestly, if he can't have another kid, it's probably for the best. Imagine if they were fortunate to have a boy. OP and sister may end up being completely ignored in favor of the golden son." And OP replies, "He would be much nicer and interested in his life. He wouldn't ignore us completely, we'd just be second priority. That was what happened to me." Kinda got nothing to say to this besides, "Oh, honey, good people don't treat you this way." Wow. Then even if you repeatedly rubbed it in his face, you wouldn't be the asshole. It's clear that on top of everything else, he's also a misogynistic person that doesn't believe women are valuable. And maybe warn stepmom that if she can't have children and conform to your father's rigid gender roles, she'll probably get replaced in short order. Your dad seems like that kind of person. I don't think that is unnecessary cruelty, because it sounds like a predictable outcome. Yikes. This is kind of a difficult one. You're absolutely in the right for defending your sister against cruelty, and you should never regret that, and by the sounds of it, your dad kind of deserved a low blow. But this isn't a sub about whether a low blow is justified, despite how often it turns into that. It's about whether someone was an asshole, and that specific line of attack is kind of asshole-ish. That aside, from what's provided, it doesn't sound like your stepmom played a part in your dad's abuse of your sister. She just got caught in the crossfire. If you value the relationship with your stepmom, I would strongly recommend speaking with her alone and apologizing. Just letting her know that you know that it was wrong and that you don't want to hurt her over issues with your dad's cruelty to your sister. Everyone sucks here. I agree, but lean towards OP being not the asshole. I see it more as an acknowledgement that their sister has always been a girl in their eyes, rather than a deliberate act of cruelty to the stepmom. I think the dad is definitely the most sucky of all here, but that doesn't clear OP of hurting an uninvolved third party. That's a dick move. Dad's wife isn't uninvolved in his transphobic abuse of his daughter. She's at least tolerating it based on the post. That's a broad assumption. The post mainly covers OP's dad's behavior and the specific incident. Without more information, I don't think it's fair to assume her opinion or what she has or hasn't done. For all we know, she wanted to interject but couldn't get a word in edgewise. Quote, "That's a broad assumption. At the very least, she's chosen to stay with someone who abuses his daughter. This has presumably been going on for years." Is this comment thread right here not peak Reddit? Oh my god, that is peak Reddit. Not the asshole. Your dad is being horrid to your sister, and she is lucky to have you supporting her. You've snapped, and maybe said something you regret, but you were provoked in showing the support that your dad should be. And not the asshole. Your dad is disrespecting your sister. I'm surprised she hasn't cut him off by now. It's unfortunate that they're going through fertility problems, but that's not the only way to have a child. Maybe apologize to your stepmom and say that it wasn't meant as an attack on her fertility, but a heat-of-the-moment attack at your dad for disrespecting your sister's identity. Anyway guys, I think that's where I'm going to end today's video. If you did like it, tell me what you thought about it down in the comments below, and make sure to just interact with everyone in this community. I love each and every one of you that I get to see on a daily basis. And don't forget, if you are a Patreon subscriber, I love you. You're on the screen right now with the YouTube members as well. If you see yourself, give yourself a pat in the back. You guys help me continue this YouTube journey. You keep me going. I see you guys everywhere. I see your messages, and thank you so much for supporting me. I really love every single one of you. But with that all said, I'm going to be signing off now, guys. I hope you have a good day, night, sleep, whatever you're up to, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.